Our town, Oak Haven, was never much to look at. It rested quietly by the sea, a place forgotten by the grand sweep of progress. Our homes were simple, built from the mud and clay of the earth, their walls weathered by sun and rain. We didn't have much money, but we had a strong spirit. Life was tough, but we knew how to endure. We were a community of fishermen, farmers, and craftsmen, bound together by generations of shared struggle. We thought we had seen the worst that life could throw at us. We were wrong. The real test was just beginning, a challenge that would demand every ounce of our courage and ingenuity. Then the sickness came. It started as whispers from the big cities, stories on crackling radios about a strange fever. We didn't pay much attention at first. City problems felt a world away from our quiet lives. But then the sickness arrived at our doorstep. It spread like a wildfire, fast and unforgiving. People we knew, our friends and neighbors, they changed. Their eyes grew vacant, their bodies twisted by a relentless hunger. They were no longer human. They became the walking dead, the shambling horrors that we now call the infected. The world we knew had ended, and a nightmare had taken its place. The first few days were pure chaos. Panic was the real enemy, more dangerous than any single infected. It spread faster, turning friends against friends in a desperate scramble for safety. We were unprepared, our simple mud houses offering little protection against the growing horde. The moans of the infected filled the air, a constant terrifying soundtrack to our new reality. Many were lost in those initial hours. We had to make a choice: succumb to the fear and be consumed, or stand together and fight for our home. This was a battle for survival, and we had to adapt or we would perish. In the face of this apocalypse, something incredible happened. The town's spirit, forged in years of hardship, ignited. We stopped running and started thinking. We looked at our simple homes, our worn-out tools, and our empty pockets, and we didn't see weakness. We saw potential. We were a community that knew how to work together, how to make something from nothing. This was our greatest strength. The initial shock gave way to a steely resolve. We would not let our town fall. We would turn Oak Haven into a sanctuary, a beacon of hope in a world plunged into darkness. Survival was no longer just instinct. It became our mission. Our first priority was simple walls. We needed to create a barrier between us and the dead. We didn't have concrete or steel, but we had the earth beneath our feet and the knowledge passed down through generations. Men, women, and even the older children went to work. We dug deep trenches and mixed mud with straw, just as our ancestors had done to build our homes. We packed it tight, layer upon layer, creating thick, solid walls around the entire town. We reinforced them with scavenged wood, old fishing nets, and anything else we could find. It was backbreaking work, but with every foot of wall we built, our hope grew stronger. At the main entrance to Oak Haven, we established a formidable checkpoint. This wasn't just a gate, it was our first line of defense and our filter against the infection. We used old shipping containers from the port, positioning them to create a narrow, controllable passage. It was manned 24 hours a day by our most trusted residents, armed with makeshift spears and heavy tools. No one entered without a thorough check. We had to be ruthless with our rules. A single mistake, one infected person slipping through, could mean the end of everything we had fought so hard to build. Discipline was key. Inside our new walls, we turned our attention to the sick and injured. Our small town clinic was little more than a single room with a few beds. It was not enough. We had to expand it, to create a proper hospital that could handle the injuries of this new world and isolate anyone showing signs of the sickness. We cleared out an adjacent warehouse, scrubbing it clean and building new rooms with salvaged materials. Our town's elders, who knew traditional remedies, worked alongside a retired nurse. They organized our limited medical supplies, creating a system to care for the wounded and keep our community healthy. The construction of our defenses changed us. It was more than just physical labor. It was a powerful act of defiance. Every shovelful of mud, every nail hammered into place was a declaration that we would not be beaten. We were no longer just a collection of poor villagers. We were a single, determined unit. We were builders, soldiers, and guardians of our own future. The walls of mud and wood did more than keep the infected out. They bound us together, creating a fortress not only of earth, but of shared purpose and unwavering resolve. Our survival depended on this unity. The infected feared the light. We discovered this during the first few terrifying nights. They were creatures of shadow, more aggressive and numerous in the pitch black. Darkness was their ally and our greatest enemy. We knew then that we had to conquer the night. Our goal was to illuminate every street, every alley, and every inch of our perimeter. We needed to banish the shadows and create a sanctuary of light. This would be a massive undertaking, requiring all our resourcefulness and a lot of hard work, but it was essential for our long-term survival. The night would no longer belong to them. We began a town-wide effort to scavenge and create light sources. We stripped old cars of their batteries and headlamps, painstakingly wiring them together to create powerful spotlights. We collected every lantern, every candle, and every drop of oil we could find. Our fishermen donated the powerful lamps from their boats, which we mounted on the highest rooftops to cast a wide, protective glow. We set up a team dedicated solely to maintaining these lights, charging the batteries during the day, using makeshift generators, and ensuring our town was never plunged into darkness. It was a constant battle to keep the lights on. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The number of attacks on our walls dropped significantly. The infected would still gather beyond the light's reach, their moans a constant reminder of the threat outside. But they hesitated to enter the brightly lit areas. The light became a weapon, a silent guardian that watched over us while we slept. It gave us a sense of security we hadn't felt since the outbreak began. Children could sleep without fear of the monsters in the dark, because the dark was gone. The light was our shield, pushing back the tide of death each and every night. This constant illumination became a symbol of our town's endurance. It was a brilliant testament to our will to live, visible for miles around in the otherwise darkened landscape. It declared to the world and to ourselves that we were still here. We were alive and we were fighting. The light represented hope. It was a constant burning fire that mirrored the fire in our own hearts. In a world that had fallen into an endless night, our small town shone like a defiant star, a beacon against the overwhelming darkness of the apocalypse. We had found a way to hold our ground. With the walls up and the lights blazing, we faced a new, silent threat: starvation. The port was closed, sealed off by the military in the early days of the outbreak. No ships came in, and no one could get out. Our supplies were finite, and we knew they would not last forever. We had to become self-sufficient. We had to feed ourselves. We turned every available patch of land inside our walls into a garden. Public squares, backyards, and even rooftops were cultivated. We were fishermen and farmers by tradition, and now these old skills were more valuable than gold. Our survival depended on the earth and the sea. Life within the walls of Oakhaven found a new rhythm, a new kind of normal. It was a life built on discipline and routine. The adults had their jobs. Some stood guard on the walls, others farmed the land, fished from the protected docks, or maintained our defenses. The children's education did not stop. We set up makeshift schools in community halls, where they learned not only reading and writing, but also the essential skills for survival in this new world. Everyone had a role to play, a purpose that contributed to the good of the whole community. There were no idle hands in Oakhaven. The marketplace, once a chaotic hub of activity, now operated under strict rules. Trade was based on a system of rationing and barter, ensuring that everyone received a fair share of our resources. Hoarding was forbidden, and the penalty was severe. We understood that selfishness could doom us all. Our survival was a collective effort, and resources had to be managed for the benefit of everyone. This strict organization was not always easy, but it was necessary. It was the price of our continued existence, and a price we were all willing to pay for the safety of our families and neighbors. In the end, Oak Haven survived. We survived not because we were strong or rich, but because we were united. We faced the apocalypse with what little we had and turned it into enough. Our organization, our discipline, and our unwavering solidarity were the cornerstones of our salvation. We learned that true strength is not found in weapons or walls, but in the willingness to help one another. We looked after each other, we worked together, and we refused to let hope die. We built a new world from the ashes of the old, a community held together by the simple, powerful idea that we were all in this together.